All right, if you haven't heard, now you heard. Breaking news, TJHockenson is going to on IR for the rest of the season. His season is over with after this play to your right in the picture. Happened on Thanksgiving. He's out with an ankle injury. Only 4 games left for the Lions, basically trying to tank. Like I said in a video this past weekend, this past week after the game, they should sit him and just let him rest and get mental reps. But let's talk about Hockenson's injury and kind of talk a little bit about his performance this season. Okay. Injury, it happens. You know what I'm saying? I said it from the beginning. The tight end position is a difficult position to adjust. You have running backs that come in and have all pro seasons, Pro Bowl seasons. Receivers do the same. But tight end position is very, very demanding. I don't really think Hockenson ever got acclimated to the size and the strength of his opponents, the speed, or I don't think he got comfortable just with the playbook. It's a lot to learn. It's a lot to retain. Not saying he's not a smart guy, but remember, like I said in the beginning of the season, I said throughout the season, Mike Ditka still has the greatest rookie tight end season of all time statistically when you go by receiving yards, So Hockenson, he jumped over people, got a concussion, and then the ankle injury. Now, he had a couple drops here and there, I believe, but it wasn't the glaring drops that Ebron had. But I think it's the right thing to do, shut him down. He already knows the speed and the strength of his opponents and the speed in the NFL. That's one of the biggest adjustments. That's adjustments when you go any level. You go Pop Warner to high school to college to the pros. It's the speed of the game. A lot of these guys are faster, stronger, but just that speed is different. When in high school you used to hit the corner, in college that corner ain't there as much. So for Hockenson, I don't think it's an indictment on his durability. The NFL is a physical place. It's a physical game. But let's kind of talk about his season. All right, but he is out for the season. It's only 4 games left. I believe it is Minnesota, Denver, Tampa, and Green Bay at home, which that means nothing. But, had Green Bay been on the road, that would have been a game for us to win the division or go to the playoffs or something like that. But it being at home, it's a meaningless game. For us, it may mean something for Green Bay because they're tied right now. Well, after the night, we'll know. But they tied 8-3 coming into this week with Minnesota. Okay, and Chicago statistically still in the hunt. But overall, I'm not shocked. The Pistons and the Lions did the same thing in their respective past drafts. They took players, Sayoko and TJ, that are not going to help the team right now. And I said it coming into this season. I was a little shocked that he did as good as he did versus Arizona. But I said it coming into the season that tight ends usually don't have an immediate impact. And what the Pistons and the Lions did was they took guys for the future. Okay? The Lions didn't operate this draft as desperate. Either Bob Quinn knows he got more time, or he felt that the team was close enough with their free agent acquisitions. The linebacker, Tavai, he played some, but he ain't no starter. As soon as Davis came back, they replaced, him with Davis. Hockenson, he started, but really wasn't no impact. Will Harris, he eventually started when they traded Quadre. He not making no impact. Amani Owakwe, he looked like he might be the most promising one. He just came back from the ankle injury. But it just seemed like Bob Quinn operating like they got more time. But Hockenson only had 2 games where he caught over 50 receiving yards. He had 300-something yards receiving and only 2 touchdowns. A guy that's supposed to help in the red zone. A guy was supposed to control the middle of the field, him and Danny Amendola. They haven't accomplished it. Okay? Whatever reasons, when tight ends come to Detroit, it just don't work. Pettigrew, Ebron, and now Hockenson. But he'll make his adjustments. He'll come back stronger. He'll come back more physical. He'll come back comfortable with his routes, cleaner in his routes, coming out the in-breaking routes, coming out the out-breaking routes, come back to the football. Him and Stafford have a better report next year. But his rookie year was a failure by, being a number 7 draft pick in the league. But what else rookie tight end tearing it up? OJ Howard still ain't tearing it up. He on the verge of being traded in Tampa Bay. You know, I know he's not a rookie. Evan Ingram, he's starting to come on, but he always getting injured. David Njoku, he injured. He still ain't came on with Cleveland. So the tight end position is kind of like years of putting in. Year 3, you might see Hockenson really turn into, you know, what we anticipated he would be. You know? So I'm not saying his rookie year was a failure. It's just average for a rookie tight end. It's tough. You gotta, you know, you are facing linebackers. You can, you know, you facing defensive ends. You facing, you know, you blocking defensive tackles if you're going into the backfield and picking up blitzes. You got to know your routes. You got to know the line audibles. You got to know the slot routes. You might have to know the outside routes. Number 2 tight end spot. So it's a tough position to master. And the Lions prepared to come into the season with it already upgraded with Jesse James and Logan Thomas. You know, you look at the 2 guys right after TJHockenson got drafted. Devin Bush and Ed Oliver is instant impact right now. In 2 positions of need that the Lions desperately need. Linebacker. Imagine if the Lions drafted Tavai and Devin Bush. You know what I'm saying? Right there, your linebacker core shored up for the next 10 years, God willing. The next 10 years is shored up. Ed Oliver, you will need Mike Daniels. Imagine Deshaun Hand come back next year. You pair Deshaun Hand and Ed Oliver on that line with Trey Flowers. Shoot, all you gotta do is get you. I mean, you in a draft, you in a race with Chase Young. That's gonna look like, you know, the Ndamukong Suh line that looked on paper with Fairley and Ebron and them. Man, imagine you pull out Chase Young out there or whatever other defense pass rusher they paired him with. Chase Young and Ed Oliver and Deshaun Hand and Trey Flowers defensive line. But Bob Quinn didn't care about what history said about the tight end position in Detroit and what history said about the tight end position overall. It takes a tight end 1 to 2 seasons to get comfortable in the NFL and really start producing unless you're special. And once again, this guy had over 50 receiving yards twice, and that's the first game. It's a game later in the season. And only 2 touchdowns. When you could have had 2 productive rookies. But you know what? Bob Quinn building for the future. He know his ass ain't on the hot seat right now. He know Martha not about to cut them off with multiple years on their contract left. And what he trying to do is he trying to, you know, build the team up, rebuild the depth, and build the team into that Patriot way image. You know, which he should have took the best available pass rusher there, or the best available defender, which would have been Bush and Ed Oliver. Ironically, both of their teams are in the playoff race, Buffalo and the Pittsburgh. You know, and once again, this is going to scar Detroit Lions fans from taking tight ends in the first round. You know, it's going to discourage them. When Irv Smith got a comparable rookie season, I ain't got to look at the numbers. I watched them to Hockenson. He went in the second round. The Lions had too many defensive needs to take a tight end. A tight end was a luxury spot. It was. Your left tackle ain't right. Your right tackle ain't right. Hockenson got a few holding penalties, but doesn't mean his season was a failure. It wasn't a failure. It's just a typical rookie tight end season. So you're going to see it start to pay off in year 2 and 3. But if he does completely bust in Detroit, I don't think nobody be surprised at the Pettigrew and Ebron. That'd be 3 straight first round tight end busts. Nobody would be shocked. But did Hockenson set the bar high with his first game in Arizona with 130-something receiving yards and a touchdown? Yeah. You know, is people going to find a way to blame Stafford for him not being successful? I don't think so. You know, he just got to, he didn't start at Iowa. That's another thing. So the Lions took a backup with the number 7 pick. He's a backup for a reason. Noah Fant was good, but Fant ain't really done nothing this season. You know, but like I said, it's just they're looking towards the future. The Detroit sports teams always do that. They don't just take the layup. Bush and Oliver would have been a layup. So we'll see how Hockenson end up doing in the future. I still believe in him, but like I said, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. So we'll see how those 3 careers, Oliver, and Hockenson and Devin Bush paying out. But hey, let me know what you guys think about Hockenson's career. Don't forget we on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Reach out to the email if you got business question, card, response, your video questions. Keep sharing the videos. Check my other channel out for more sports, music, and entertainment. Goodfellas Sports TV.